Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the Noon News from Montana's news leader.
Good afternoon, and thanks so much for starting your week with us here on MTN News. I'm Aja Goare. School is not in session today in Santa Fe, Texas, where the community is mourning the shooting deaths of 10 people at the local high school. Dozens attended a candlelight vigil last night for the victims, and more tributes are planned for today. CBS's Omar Villafranca reports.
Across Texas this morning, people paused to honor the lives lost in Friday's school shooting. The governor called for a statewide moment of silence for the 10 victims killed and 13 injured in Friday's massacre.
There are no words.
Over the weekend, there were more tributes at church services and vigils. Hundreds of worshipers attended this mosque to remember Pakistani exchange student Sabika Sheikh, who aspired to work in civil service. Jolene Cogburn was her U.S. host mother.
She wanted to be a businesswoman, and she said she wanted to impact the world.
On Saturday night, hundreds of fans packed the stands at Santa Fe's playoff baseball game. 2 players even suited up after being shot during the massacre a day earlier. Police say 17-year-old suspect Demetrius Pogorchis wore a trench coat and carried a Remington 870 shotgun and a .38 caliber pistol during the attack. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick suggested Sunday that guns were not the issue.
The best way to take that shooter down is with a gun.
Pogorchis surrendered to police a half hour after they arrived to confront him. He immediately waived his Miranda rights and is now in solitary confinement. Nicholas Pale and Robert Barfield represent Pogorchis. They say their client might not have been in the right state of mind, even though his social media post before the shooting showed an affinity for weapons and contained violent messages.
This is a young kid who's at this point very confused and I think still in some shock.
Houston Texans star J.J. Watt has offered to pay for the funerals for all of the victims. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Santa Fe, Texas.
The suspect faces charges of capital murder and aggravated assault on a peace officer. Meanwhile, President Trump is calling on the Department of Justice to investigate whether the FBI planted a mole in his presidential campaign. Sources tell CBS News an FBI informant was instructed to make contact with at least 3 Trump campaign advisors about their suspicious contacts with Russian officials. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein has already handed the investigation over to the Office of the Inspector General. But some say the president's demand is inappropriate because the Department of Justice has traditionally operated independently from the White House. Here in Montana, 1 person is dead after a 2-car crash on Interstate 15 between Great Falls and Vaughn. The crash happened Sunday when a GMC Sonoma was rear-ended by a Nissan Xterra, causing the GMC to leave the road and roll. The Montana Highway Patrol reports the driver of the GMC was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected. That person died. The driver of the Nissan was not injured. The victim's name has not been released. The woman hospitalized after she was attacked by a bear in the Cabinet Mountains near Libby last week has left the ICU. MTN spoke with the victim's friend, who says Amber Cornack was in her first full week working with Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks when she was attacked by the bear. She suffered 2 skull fractures and several lacerations to her head, neck, and back. Cornack then hiked 2 miles back to her car to get help. We're told friends, family, and strangers have stepped up in a big way to help Cornack while she's recovering. A GoFundMe has been set up for the victim, and you can find that link with this story on your local MTN websites. The Clark Fork River levels hit lower than predicted this weekend, but residents in flood-prone areas urged to remain vigilant. With the high amount of snow levels in the mountains and the potential for warm temperatures, officials say conditions could change very quickly. That's especially true for residents living in confluence areas. The Missoula County Sheriff's Office plans to reassess the evacuation areas today to evaluate if it's safe for flood victims to return home. And meanwhile, floodwater erosion continues to threaten infrastructure along the Clark Fork riverbanks. Blackfoot fiber optic internet cables and numerous underground power lines were exposed and damaged as a result of those extreme floodwater erosion. The Army Corps of Engineers and the county conducted damage surveys in that area. County workers also assisted cable and power companies with repair efforts. The county is working with community organizations active in disaster relief on a recovery plan. We turn now to the weather scene with Ed McIntosh, and With the flooding in mind, how are we looking around the state?
You know, they said stay vigilant, Asia, and there was good reason for it. As we take a look at the map, you can still see where there's a lot of snow up into the mountains. There's a few exceptions through Wyoming and portions of Montana, but get to the western portion of the state, still looking at considerably higher than we would normally see. The Sun River is also a potential for flooding, now at 221% of the snowpack still available in the mountains that we would normally see by this time of the year. Making their way through the week, we're going to be looking at some very warm temperatures. That will add to the snow melt, but so will the rain add to the potential problems, with some potential for strong to severe storms, and the flooding problems could continue in many areas. We'll talk more about it in a few minutes.
Thanks, Ed. We'll take a closer look in a bit. A retired farmer used his mechanical skills and his own money to repair the Shelby Carousel, first erected in 1936. Harry Benjamin traveled across the country checking out other carousels before repainting the Allen Herschel Carousel, which opened just this weekend. MTN's Kaylee Collins has his story.
I know it's hard to understand that until it's happened to you, but you can be happy and sad all at the same time, in the same moment. And that's how it is today.
Just under 2 years ago, Lolly Hayter and her husband lost their youngest daughter, Daisy, at only 8 years old. And while they're still grieving, they're finding ways to keep her memory alive.
Daisy had like a reverse bucket list. So she was in the hospital for 9 months at Seattle Children's. And towards the end, she made a list of things that she wanted to do if she got out of the hospital. And ride a carousel was one of the things on her list.
But she never got to do that until Harry Benjamin walked into Hayter's work.
I truly think, Daisy probably solicited some help up above and said, I think this would be pretty cool. We should get these two together. I just quietly asked him that question, and he said, yeah, we could do that.
What started out as just a daisy painted on a horse turned into something much more.
He surprised me with putting her name and dedicating a horse just for her.
Allowing Daisy's legacy to live on.
It's one way that she'll get her wish, even though she's not here, she's still here.
And to help fill a missing piece.
She was such a character, and then when you lose that, you have such a big hole in your life to fill. And it's hard to find moments of true joy, but this is one of them.
In Shelby, Kaylee Collins, MTN News.
Such a touching story there. Thank you, Kaylee. And the carousel is open Monday through Sunday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Still ahead on the new news, a celebrity chef is being grilled for sexual assault allegations. Details when we come back. First, Ed has our weather forecast. Stay with us.
You're watching MTN News with Aja Goare, Storm Tracker weather with Ed McIntosh, and farm and ranch news from the Northern Egg Network. This is the new news on Q2, Montana's news leader.